There's a common mistake that young men make in relationships, a misinterpretation that stems not from malice but from ignorance. And it's this: they believe that when a woman is reserved, hesitant, or distant, she's ignoring them. They take it personally. They recoil. They become bitter. And that's tragic, not only for the relationship, but for the development of the man himself. A woman's emotional caution is not a flaw. It is an evolved strategy born from thousands of years of biological necessity. Her hesitance is not confusion, it is intelligence. The stakes for her have always been higher. Biologically, a single act of intimacy can change the trajectory of her life. One decision can carry the burden of conception, the weight of gestation, and the cost of child rearing. Her biology demands discernment. In ancestral environments, trust was not optional. It was survival. If she chose the wrong partner, she paid in suffering, solitude, or death. Selectivity isn't vanity, it's wisdom written in blood across generations. A woman learned through culture, through family, through intuition, to guard herself against chaos. She learned that not every hand extended was meant to hold her up. Many came to take, not to give. That memory is coded in her nervous system. A woman's heart is not a game board. It's a sanctuary under siege. Emotional openness is a risk she does not take lightly. She has seen what happens when trust is misplaced. Broken promises don't just hurt, they fracture her ability to believe. She watches closely. She listens between the lines. She reads your silences as loudly as your words. When she holds back, it's not cruelty, it's a filter. She's not testing you to torment you. She's testing you to survive. You must understand her caution isn't personal, it's archetypal. It is embedded deep in her psyche from stories she's heard, from pain she's witnessed, from wounds she's inherited. Even if she's never been hurt herself, she carries the fears of every woman who came before her. That ancestral memory is alive in her eyes. She doesn't forget what the world has done to women who gave their hearts too quickly. This is not a question of whether she likes you, it's a question of whether you are safe. Not soft, not weak, but safe in the way a rock is safe, unmoving, strong, steady. Her instincts don't care about your smooth words or casual charm. They care about structure. They care about restraint. They care about whether you collapse under the weight of your own emotions. A woman protects her heart because she has learned that not every man can handle it. Not every man deserves it. Her boundaries are not walls, they are thresholds. She needs to see if you can pass through them without breaking them. She is not cold, she is precise. She wants to know if you bring chaos or order, destruction or meaning. In the modern world, men often misread this as disinterest. That's because we live in a culture that confuses availability with value, but she does not. She knows that what is rare is protected, what is sacred is guarded. If she gives you immediate access, it is often a sign of her fear, not her confidence. When she pauses, when she waits, she is honoring herself. She is measuring your worth with a quiet, relentless scale. Her protection is a signal. It is a mirror. It reflects your stability, your patience, your ability to endure tension without demanding resolution. Can you stand in her silence without collapsing? Can you honor her hesitations without trying to manipulate them? She is not trying to win a game. She is trying to see if your presence is medicine or poison. Her restraint is a form of power. It is a moral act. In a world that urges people to overshare and overexpose, her ability to preserve mystery is revolutionary. She does not owe you her soul. She does not owe you her scars. If she chooses to reveal them, it will be because you proved you could hold them without trembling, or worse, without exploiting them. A woman's heart is not a convenience, it is a fortress, built on the ruins of stories she's never told. If she seems guarded, it's because vulnerability is not just emotion, it's exposure. To open up is to place her most tender parts into your hands and hope you don't crush them. That hope must be earned. It is not freely given to the untested. Her distance is a challenge, not a rejection. It's the challenge of responsibility. It's the challenge of consistency. It's the challenge of becoming a man who can be trusted even when it's difficult, even when no one is watching. She's not ignoring you, she's reading you. Every action, every delay, every word you choose, every moment you choose silence over defensiveness. If you want access to her inner world, you must prove that you won't treat it like a playground, that you won't enter and leave muddy footprints, that you won't speak promises in the morning and disappear by nightfall. Her heart is not a rehearsal space for your insecurity. It is not a shelter for unfinished men. It is a space that demands reverence. Women have learned, consciously or unconsciously, that being too open, too fast, often leads to regret. The world punishes women for being too trusting. It teaches them that love is dangerous, that affection can be a weapon, and that kindness can be mistaken for weakness. So she protects herself, not because she hates men, but because she has seen what happens when she forgets to. If she seems emotionally distant, it's because she is checking to see if you will close that distance with respect or with force. Will you wait or will you push? Will you stay or will you punish her for being careful? Your reaction is her information. If you grow angry or cold in response to her boundaries, she learns that her instincts were right. A woman who protects her heart is not broken, she is wise. She is signaling a different standard. She does not want someone to possess her, she wants someone to understand her. She's not looking for excitement that burns fast and dies young. She's looking for integrity, for discipline, for the rare man who sees her not as a conquest, but as a cathedral. Her hesitance is a test of your essence. She's asking, without words, if you can lead without controlling, if you can pursue without invading, if you can desire without devouring. That is the sacred tension of masculine pursuit. To stand in strength without dominance, to love with passion but never entitlement. She is not your reward, she is not your mirror, she is not your project, she is her own. And if you are lucky enough to be chosen, it will be because you proved through action, through consistency, through silence and storm, that you can be trusted with what is most delicate in her. And that trust, once earned, is worth more than anything given freely. Ask ChatGPT. A man who sees emotional distance as disinterest has not yet learned to see beyond himself. When a woman steps back, he takes offense, not realizing she is listening for something deeper than words. She's not looking to be impressed, she's waiting to be assured. His panic reveals his immaturity, his frustration betrays his fragility. He wants instant connection, not earned closeness. But intimacy isn't speed, it's depth. He mistakes her silence for rejection because he's never sat long enough with his own. He seeks validation instead of understanding. He wants to be seen, but has not yet learned to see. Her boundaries confuse him because he has not built his own. Her discernment feels like criticism because he has tied his worth to approval. He doesn't realize the true connection begins where entitlement ends. A man who hasn't cultivated patience will always be blind to depth. He sees her distance and assumes it's personal, when in fact it's ancestral. She is not avoiding him, she is protecting herself, but he can't see it, because he still believes love should arrive without demand, without labor, without character. He has not earned the strength that respect requires. He thinks love is owed when attraction is felt. But real love does not respond to want, it responds to worth. When she holds back, she is not rejecting the man, she is rejecting the chaos he brings. If he cannot remain grounded in her absence, he is not ready for her presence. If he collapses under pressure, how can he hold her fears? She is measuring him, not for perfection, but for truth. She wants to know if his words align with his choices, if his confidence holds up when he doesn't get his way, if his interest is rooted in who she is, not what he hopes to extract. She does not need a performance, she needs presence. Not flair, but follow through. Not pursuit, but purity of intent. Most men have been conditioned to chase affection instead of cultivate value. They think connection is about charm, but she is not interested in performance. She is interested in stability. She knows that fire burns quickly when there's no structure to contain it. She has seen promises melt in the heat of pressure. She has heard apologies soaked in dishonesty. Her silence is not a void. It is an invitation to examine yourself. She's giving you the space to reveal your substance. Will you fill that space with insecurity or with strength? Will you rush to control what you do not understand, or will you remain, not in passivity, but in integrity? Can you be still without needing to be fed? If your interest dies in her distance, it was never love, it was hunger. If your pursuit fades in the absence of praise, it was never devotion, it was ego. The way you respond to her boundaries reveals everything about your readiness, not to possess, but to protect, not to consume, but to contribute. True masculinity does not panic in the face of uncertainty. It does not collapse when it isn't instantly celebrated. A man who is whole does not need to be seen to stand tall. He stands because he must, because that is what structure demands. If he cannot hold himself, he cannot hold another. A woman protects her heart because she has known what it means to give it too soon. She has seen what happens when kindness is mistaken for permission. Her instincts are not walls, they are warning lights. She is not ignoring you. She is listening to what you do when things are unclear, and your reaction will tell her if she is right to wait. A man who needs to be reassured constantly is not seeking connection, he is seeking rescue. And she is not your rescue. She is not here to complete your brokenness. She is not the balm for your uncertainty. If you do not know who you are without her approval, you are not ready for her intimacy. Because love does not heal immaturity, it demands maturity. The depth she seeks is rare because the world no longer trains men to dig. We raise them to perform, to chase, to conquer, but not to become. And so, when they meet a woman who will not be easily won, they retreat. Not because she's too much, but because they are not yet enough. Enough in honesty, enough in clarity, enough in emotional strength. To misread her boundaries is to reveal your unreadiness. You must earn your place through consistency, not charm, through silence held with dignity, through effort without entitlement. She is not a puzzle to be solved. She is a soul to be met. And that meeting cannot happen through pressure. It only unfolds through patience. If she does not immediately give you what you want, you must ask, is your desire about her, or is it about your need to feel worthy? If her restraint enrages you, it is your control, not her caution, that needs examination. Because a man secure in himself will not crumble when a woman withholds approval. He will reflect, adapt, endure. She is looking for someone who understands that protection is not possession, that power is not dominance, that masculinity at its core is not about noise, it is about restraint. She is watching to see if you are a man who can lead without overpowering, who can stay without clinging, who can witness her guard without needing to destroy it. When she gives you nothing, she's giving you the test, not to see if you'll win, but to see if you'll last. Anyone can show up when things are easy. Anyone can speak well when it suits them, but will you still show up when she says nothing, when she doubts you, when she guards her soul with silence? This is where most men fail, not because they are bad, but because they are impatient, because they think value lies in getting, not in becoming. But you must become the kind of man who does not flinch at distance, who does not resent boundaries, who does not shame what he does not understand. Her self-protection is a mirror. It reflects your capacity or lack thereof to carry something sacred. If you cannot handle her pause, how can you handle her truth? If you panic at her distance, how will you survive her depth? You are not being tested for performance. You are being tested for presence. And presence cannot be faked. To truly pursue her, you must strip yourself of urgency and stand in discipline. You must show her that you are not chasing fantasy, but inviting reality. That you are not here to win her heart, you are here to deserve it. And that distinction makes all the difference. Because when she finally opens, when she finally speaks, when she finally trusts, you'll realize it was never about getting her. It was always about proving you were ready to receive something real. And only those who stand with unwavering strength in the silence of her caution ever get the chance to hold what she guards.